All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. It has been quite a few days this Labor Day weekend. I Kmart, what's up? Sorry you're late, dude. I just started. What do you mean? I'm sorry, I'm late. I literally just hopped on. But anyway, I'll go into it quick. Basically, I spent the weekend at my girlfriend's place. Her She had a lot going on with her family. I'll get that. I didn't really get a chance to go live or anything. I almost went live one of the nights, but I'm staying at her parents' house. I wasn't. I didn't really feel comfortable going live late at night and doing this. So I figured I got home about 2 hours ago. I took a nap. Well, whatever. A nap. I went to bed. I woke up. I was like, you know what? Let me go talk college football because it's been such a good fucking weekend of college football that I want to hop on and talk with you guys. Let's see. We got sorry I'm late. Lil Bro right in with Bama sucks, and Arch Manning just sent his application for McDonald's. Man, I have spent the entire weekend killing this kid. I have spent the whole weekend talking about how terrible fucking Arch Manning was, and he was. He was miserable. He was absolutely fucking terrible. So yeah, that's that. That's all I have to say. USC won. Like USC, like they won, or you mean like they're number one? This was a very, very interesting weekend of college football. I'm just pulling up the scoreboard because I want to see. I just want to make sure I have everything correct. I don't want to say anything. I watched a ton of college football, but I couldn't keep up with it all. Let's see. I mean, like I could keep up, but what the fuck am I even talking about? Let's see. USC, they played. Who the fuck did they play? I saw that game in the background. Um, what fucking conference are they in now? Big Ten. But anyway, we could talk. We could start with Arch Manning talk because, man, oh man, for all the hype that's been around, Missouri State. That's not anything. For all the hype that's been around Arch Manning for all these years, for all the talk we've had about Twerk, no, I don't know who that is. Me going to bed, checking notifications right before bed, seeing a Flay stream. Oh no, not this shit again. Hey man. So anyway, we'll go right into Arch Manning discussion. Thought he looked bad against Ohio State. And again, maybe I was a little bit tough on the kid. It was his first game, but for somebody that's had that much hype around him for 2, 3 years now, all this talk about how good he was and how he's this top prospect and all this shit, and we finally get an Arch Manning game, and I felt like I honestly felt like Arch Manning just didn't play well. Like I felt like he was making a lot of mental errors. The throwing mistakes, the throwing issues, you don't know who. I don't know who that is, and I don't even want to read it out loud because I feel like if I read it out loud, I'm gonna end up saying something I don't. So I feel like I'm getting baited here. Why so small hat? I don't know, man. You know what, Alex? It was one of those things when I ordered the hat, I thought it was gonna be bigger, and it wasn't as big as I thought. So it didn't really work out. On the stream, I have said a Texas fan native, he was going to be ass. You did. You were on top of that, Aaron. You you have said it. I just think, listen, the physical mistakes, the bad throws and stuff. I don't think missing a couple slant routes and stuff, a couple crossing routes. Not a big deal. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. Nash, appreciate that, man. Yo, sorry, bro, I was baiting you. I got it out. Hey, man, it's all good. Oh, I see what you got me with. Yeah. No, you see, like anytime anybody puts up anytime somebody puts up a name or something, I'm slow to read it. I don't want to read it because I'm always like somebody's trying to bait me here. But it's all good, man. I don't ban anybody for trying to bait me. In fact, I welcome the trolls here, man. I think it's great. I think it's great when you guys come by. It keeps me interested. It keeps me occupied. So I appreciate you even stopping by, even if it was to try to get me to say. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just upset about Andrew Garfield and the Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4 getting canceled. They got canceled? That's terrible. Those are great movies. I feel like the Spider-Man movies always hit. But anyway, Arch Manning made a couple bad throws and a lot of the crossing patterns, he wasn't hitting the throws. I don't think that's an issue. I don't, honestly, that's nerves. It's his first start. I don't think that's bad. Problem I had with Arch Manning in his first start. A lot of the mental stuff. A lot of bad reads. A lot of not reading the defense. Couple interceptions that should never happen. It doesn't take a football genius to realize some of those throws he made are just absolutely insane. Yeah, Sony fired Andrew after he didn't show up for a meeting. Damn, I did not know that. Did you see the touchdown? Yes, I did. Yes, Kmart. Well-known wide receiver at Penn State, Phyllis. Yeah. I feel stabbed in the back that Sony won't listen to us, and I've been crying for like an hour because he's the best Spider-Man to do it, unlike him. Yeah, that's tough, man. I know a lot of people are very invested in the Spider-Man universe. I get that. And I understand, like, you spend a lot of time, you watch these movies. You want the best possible Spider-Man. I get that. But that sucks. I did not hear about that. I'm sorry to. This guy, I finally caught the stream. Yeah, Gain, I've been all over the place. I was telling the stream before I started that I was at my girlfriend's house all weekend. Her grandmother's been sick. Her cousin just had a baby. So I stayed out at her house all weekend because at her parents' house because a lot was going on. We weren't really doing much Labor Day weekend. It was going to be a lot of running around, so we figured I'd do that. Tobey goated. I mean, the Spider-Mans I remember are Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. Tobey goated, though. Scream for a cookie? What do you mean? Scream for a cookie? How are you going to give me a cookie? Get a job. My bad. It's been a while. Forgot my native greeting. I was going to say, Gain, I can't tell if you're an imposter or not, but I appreciate that. I grew up with Andrew Garfield because I was like 8 when they first came out. Tobey's good. I'm okay with Tobey. Like I said, I grew up with the Tobey Maguire ones. Those were the first ones I saw. I always liked Tobey Maguire, but like I've kind of fallen off on Spider-Man. But I understand. Like, people invest a lot in these movies. People love those movies. I get it, like, when something like that happened. Bro, first off, Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man... yeah, I mean, I'm not going to read out the second part, but to me, Tobey Maguire will always be Spider-Man. That's my look at it, because that was the first... That's who I grew up with. That was, like, the Spider-Man movie I saw. I'm not big on movies anymore, to be honest. Cool hat, LOL. Is that what it's like when you put a condom on? What? Wait, hold on. What, like giant condom? No. No. I have to get custom made extra small ones. It's kind of brutal. If there's any company out there that makes those and wants to sponsor the stream, I will happily talk about how your extra small condoms fit me with plenty of room to spare. You removed my mod? Why? Aaron, I don't know what happened. Every single one got mobbed. We just totally derailed the Arch Manning talk. It is what it is. Honestly, when I pop on here, Alan, I pretty much know that I'm not going to be able to get out what I want to talk about. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I reset my phone, where it must be because I started streaming on my phone when I first did this. I had to fully reset my phone, and everything got fucked up. Every single app on my phone, I have to restart everything, and I lost all the mods. But the weird thing is when I go to like my channel, you guys are all still there, so I don't know what's going on. One of these days I'll try to fix that. We were cutting the mustard? No, it's not about that. Why do you hate Arch Manning so much? Hate on Arch Manning so much? I don't hate him. I just think, listen, Mike, I think when a kid's got that much hype, when a kid is that highly touted, he shows up the first game and he's making very, very simple mental blunders. I was not impressed whatsoever. He wasn't making the throws. He had a couple read option plays where he completely misread the entire play. I felt like if Texas just had a competent quarterback playing on Saturday, they easily beat Ohio State. I was not that impressed with Ohio State either. Rangers or Islanders? Connor, diehard Islander fan. Actually, my other big hat's an Islander hat. But can you add me back? Aaron, I'm pretty sure everybody's a mod still. I just don't know why it's not showing up. But diehard Islander fan. Diehard. What were we talking? So, yeah, Arch Manning to me, it's one thing to say, like, it's the kid's first game. It's the kid's first game. He's been in college for 2 years now, and all everybody ever talked about was what's going to happen when he finally gets the opportunity. If he was a true freshman coming in there, it would be a totally different situation. He's been in the offense for 2 years, and it answers a lot of questions for me. I always wondered, like, this kid, he went to Texas, he wasn't going to play for 2 years, all this hype around him. Any normal quarterback, any normal person that was trying to benefit their career probably would have transferred out of there. Would have left Texas, gone somewhere to go play right away, put themselves out there. Arch Manning never did that. And I'm starting to wonder, was he ever really that great quarterback we all thought he was? You know, he's got two uncles who are very big in football, a grandfather very big in football, that if they had any belief in this kid, I feel like they would have told him, transfer, go anywhere else. Transfer somewhere where you're going to get on the field. He never did that. So that's why I hate on Arch Manning. Flay, I'm venting because I can't find any Andrew Garfield fans like me are all... I get that, Shane. I understand, man. Listen, things like that happen, and I understand that it's upsetting. I don't mind. You could vent here, always. I get it, dude. You love the Spider-Man movies. You love them with Andrew Garfield, and, like, somebody who's not invested in, like, a series, when you lose a character, it's a big deal. I get it, man. I fought an Islander once. Bad idea. Those guys have the thickest heads. I broke my fucking hand. And I like, what is an Islander? What's an Islander down by you? The Islanders are a hockey team here on Long Island that play in the National Hockey League. Tom Holland was better than whoever you were just talking about. Play showing my emotions here, and it feels good to let it out, holding it in. I get it, Shane. Absolutely, man. Always. Always show your emotions here. I'm here to talk, man. Again, I started with the preface of talking college football, but we're all over the place. That is what it is. Riding coattails like Shedeur Sanders, similar, very similar so far, Connor. Again, it was one game. I'm not going to totally sit here and say like the kid's college career is over, but you know, it answered a lot of questions from what I watched. I put it under a microscope for somebody who had such hype coming into this year. He looked like he did not know what he was doing out there. Again, he missed some throws. I get it. It happens. But there were some very, very simple reads that he was not making correct. And again, I think if Texas had anybody competent playing there, they were a better football team than Ohio State on Saturday. Islanders are Samoans, Tongans. It makes sense. Yeah, Gain, around here, Islanders are a very shitty hockey team that I root for. End his story properly, like I feel betrayed. It's brutal, Shane. I get it. Yeah, I just post a lot. Just got professional cooking. Nice. I like it. I like that. Marvel been garbage since Ant-Man came out. To be honest, I don't really watch a lot of superhero movies. I don't really watch movies at all anymore. The only real superhero thing I watch at all is what's that fucking show? The Boys. The Boys is fun. And that's about it. A lot of people are like, we want the Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4, and we're begging for it. Shane, I feel like with the amount of people that, you know, people like you and everybody who watches, like, the Spider-Man movies and all these, like, I feel like the amount of support, like, from people like you and other people who feel the same way, you know, money talks, they're going to end up finding a way to get him back in. You don't watch movies, you watch porn all day. I don't count those as movies, though. Those are short stories. Matthew Barzell is a superhero. Good point. Very good point. Greg Arnold, what's up? Agreed, Aaron. Wait, no offense, Shane, but Andrew Garfield is by far the worst of the Spider-Man. Listen, everybody's got their own opinion. Again, the Spider-Man I always remember is Tobey Maguire, because when I was younger, I liked the Spider-Man movies, and Tobey Maguire was the one that I watched. I've kind of fallen off on movies as a whole. But yeah, porn's not movies. Those are short stories. I'm practicing semen retention. Huh. I feel like that could get you really frustrated, Greg, but it is what it is. I like the Black Spider-Man. I forgot his name. What is his name? I don't even know. But I'm just saying the Amazing Spider-Man 2 made over $700 million, yet they canceled it saying it was a flop. Garfield, worst Spider-Man. We're having a good debate on Spider-Man here. And what's up, Ardell? How we doing? Again, for me, I the only ones I ever watched had Tobey Maguire in them. That was the only ones I saw. I kind of fell off on the Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man movies after that. Like Marvel ruined my favorite Spider-Man. Have you not heard of semen retention? I've never heard of that. I could take a wild guess what it is, but I've never heard anybody refer to that as that term. What do you think is the fastest Spider-Man? I have no idea. Unpopular take: superheroes are white. The prevent. Yeah. I don't know about that. There's plenty of like. Honestly, one of my favorite superheroes growing up was, shockingly, and pun intended, not really a super. Like, I don't even know if he's a mainstream superhero, but one of my favorite shows growing up was Static Shock. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Black superhero. Mets or Yankees? Diehard Met fan, Connor. Love the Mets, unfortunately. It is a miserable existence for me. It helps mood and performance with athletics. I think it makes you more aggressive. Hey, man, it's been a while. James, what's up, man? How we doing? If it ain't Toby or Andrew Garfield, they're an imposter. To me, it's always been Toby Maguire for me. Yeah. I just like making you shook. Yeah, that kind of threw me off. That absolutely. And goddamn, I stand corrected. Static Shock was dope. Dude, that's the thing. Like, Static Shock was one of my favorite superheroes. It was one of the few superhero shows that I watched, and I was like, this is great. That, like, that early morning, like, WB11, that whole, like, that whole lineup, Static Shock was, like, the last show in the morning on Saturdays. I loved it. I love that show. Now, it helps with my depression. I get it. Listen, if it helps you in any way, Greg, then keep doing it. I get it. I feel the pain. I'm from the Chicago area. Damn. James is a Rockies fan. True. Malachi Corley cut. You want to talk about an experiment that went horribly wrong was Malachi Corley. A lot of fucking hype coming in, and he's a big red flag into Joe Douglas's tenure as the Jets general manager. You want to talk about someone next to the sport? I have 206 subs last week. Got 20K. Good for you, James. Good shit, man. It's a channel around here, Gain. It's an American channel. It's like WB11 used to have like all these cartoons in the morning, and Static Shock was one of the shows. But I think if you asked me who my favorite superhero was, I think it would be Static Shock. And honestly, because I thought the show was baller. I thought it was great. I thought it was an awesome show. But I never liked Malachi Corley. Flay panicking on Arch Manning's development way too soon. Ardell, okay, so the Arch Manning thing. You want me to go into this? I don't care if Arch Manning just made a couple bad like those throws across, like a lot of those crossing patterns that he was throwing. What the hell? Like a lot of those crossing patterns he was throwing, like he was missing throws and shit. That stuff, like whatever. Like nerves is one thing. What I had a problem with Ardell was how little he seemed to be seeing the defense. I had a problem with his reads, and like there was one drive in particular where like he tried to throw a bubble screen to the short side of the field when there is no way you throw the screen pass and that's it. Like it was basic 101 stuff that anybody who's ever played college football 26, 25, 26 probably would pick up on. But I didn't, to me, I was not big on what he was doing mentally. The physical stuff, the throws, the bad throws, whatever, not a big deal. Sark didn't help him out at all. Yeah, the play calling was a little bit odd too, Ardell. I do agree with that. I felt like there were some very simple throws. I saw your girl last night at my place. She's good. I was with her all weekend. I was at her parents' house all weekend, so that's why I wasn't streaming. Her cousin just had a baby, and her grandmother is going through chemo right now, so we were just in the area. We were going to be in her town anyway, so we just decided to stay at her parents' house. But yeah, I just think like there were things that I saw with Arch Manning that I'm like, this is a kid who has sat behind Quinn Ewers for 2 years, has all this hype behind him. For him to come into his first game so unprepared as a junior who has sat there and watched, it's one thing if he was a true freshman, I'd be like, all right, this is growing pains. The fact that he's been there for 2 years, knows the offense, knows Sark's offense, and was still making such horrendous reads, it made me ask a lot of different questions, Ardell. It made me ask, like, now I felt like you're glitching for me, Major. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Sometimes I have too many apps open. Yeah, that's why. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know why Epic Games always opens when I start. Just give me a minute. No, I have it on my phone and I just noticed what you were talking about. Hold on. I just gotta close some apps because this is very awkward. Alright. Let me shut this down. Alright. What'd you say, Aaron? Flayed it is haven't been here in a bit. Famous because Micah Parsons sleeping on the sideline. Is that the game before the Wi-Fi one? Wait, Micah Parsons sleeping on the sideline. What game was that? His Wi-Fi is bad. We have all came to terms with it. You probably have, but no, honestly, it's just that like my Steam will open and Epic Games will open, and sometimes Epic Games just like starts. Epic Games will just start downloading something, and like I don't know why. I usually have it shut off. Um, in high school, let's see. I don't know why I grew up with Andrew Garfield. No, I don't think he's saying minus 100. I think he's just telling you like 100. But no, like I said, my biggest issue with what happened with Arch Manning was just it seemed like he was unprepared. It looked like a guy who never prepared for a game in his life. I again the throws, some of like the missing open guys, I think is not a problem. The Alien vs Predator 3. What's up, man? How are we? I think like the physical stuff is not an issue. The fact that some of his reads were just so ridiculously bad, I couldn't believe what I was watching. That's it. I felt like he was so far behind of what I felt like he should have been. And I also thought if Texas had a competent quarterback playing on Saturday, they win that game easily. I don't think Ohio State was that impressive. I didn't find them to be that impressive. I thought Texas kind of gave them that football game. I feel like Sony threw away Andrew Garfield and gave up because of mixed opinions. Like, I was waiting for years, then heard it got canceled. Yeah, that's a terrible, James. That's the story of my life. Yeah, Shane, I don't really know like the background on what happened, but if Marvel, if there's something going on behind the scenes and it's a distraction, Marvel can put people in as Spider-Man and people are still gonna watch it. That's like the behind the scenes stuff they could fix. They could probably plug in anybody as Spider-Man. I disagree. I think Arch was a bit nervous mentally, and Ohio State has a top 5 defense. I think Arch will bounce back next week. Ohio State D is good. Play what time zone you in? Eastern. Yeah, look, Ohio State has a talented defense for sure. I just felt like Arch made a couple bad reads that cost them that game. Why don't the Jets get their own stadium? That was an issue of the Jets were supposed to get their own stadium actually, Mike. So what happened was the Jets were going to get a stadium. They were going to build it right on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And then that whole thing fell through, so the Jets kind of got caught with their pants down. They had to build a stadium with the Giants at that point. It gets to the point where I think the Jets lease on that building runs out in like 2029. There's a chance the Jets move. The Jets are not tied to MetLife Stadium. It's 224 for me right now. So we could see it. It could end up happening, but it's a lot easier to run a stadium with two separate owners and just the cost effectiveness. The Jets are the speed bump of the NFL. Damn, bro. What the fuck? But anyway, back to the Arch Manning stuff. Like I said, it was just a little bit of, for me, the biggest problem was there were certain little reads and stuff that I felt like he just wasn't properly making. I get it. Ohio State's got a good defense. I understand that part of it. Just there were a couple plays that I'm watching and I'm like, I don't think it was that big of a, there were such little things. Like the one interception he threw where like anybody knows the safety's helping over the top. Like there were certain things about Arch Manning that I just was like, this is a kid who looks unprepared. Jets O-line could be top 10 this year. The Jets are going to have a good offensive line this year. They're going to have to like ground and pound. I definitely think the Jets have a top 10 offensive line going into this year. It's all going to be on if Justin Fields can, manage the game, keep the Jets moving forward. We'll see. Like, I'm so sorry, I'm no way healed. I get it, Shane. I totally understand, man. You could vent here. The Jets are the speed bump. The Cowgirls are in the sewer. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a team trading Micah Parsons like that? The Cowboys are not going to be very good. It's going to take Sony giving me what I want to heal. I get it. But yeah, we're all over the place. We are all over the place tonight, and that's what I always expect. I never expect this to be just straightforward. Jets haven't won a Super Bowl since man landed on the moon. It's true. Sony doesn't give me the Amazing Spider-Man 3. Shane, I'm sure you'll get it. Wasn't he probably nervous? It was his first game. Mike, you know what my big issue with that is he's been there for 3 years now. It's his third year in the program. If he was a true freshman coming in, I'd understand it. I would be on top. I'd be like, you know what? It's his first game as a true freshman. He's here. A guy like Arch Manning doesn't get that time, in my opinion. He's been there for 2 years. He should know the offense back like the back of his hand. All the hype. He was the number one recruit 2 years ago. He shows up week one. And again, if it was one of those things like he played a good game but they lost, totally not an issue. That's one thing. I genuinely felt like he was the reason Texas didn't win that football game. There were mistakes he made that cost Texas that game. I felt like if Texas had somebody competent that read the defense well enough, they would have been fine. Did you watch Notre Dame Miami tonight? I did. That was an awesome football game. That was great. Fantastic college football. But little bro, he was here for a little bit. Miami looks pretty good. I made a video earlier saying I love Cal. I think Cal's going to win the ACC. Miami looks pretty damn good. The interception on their third down on their final drive killed them. Yeah. I mean, Notre Dame was moving. They were. Notre Dame had all the momentum. And, just a crazy bounce cost them the game. Oh, killed Texas. Yeah, absolutely. Texas, yeah. Greg, there was one drive. And tomorrow, if I'm going to come back, we'll talk about it. I'll get the highlights up. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about when I say, like... Wait, I thought they were bringing Andrew Garfield back. Yeah, Shane, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know anything into it, but I'm definitely going to look more into it. But yeah, it was just like simple reads that I felt like Arch Manning was missing. That's it. Have a good night, James. Yo, how are you? I'm back, by the way. What's up, Bills fan? How are we? Just to me, that's the biggest issue there is that guy, Arch Manning, number one prospect, talked about as a number one pick, showed up week one, and looked like he did not know what he was doing out there. Can I be a mod? Yeah, Bills fan. I don't know why. For some reason, all the mods got deleted when I reset my phone. I got to figure out what's going on. But I kind of like it without the mods, so I might just get rid of them anyway. I feel like more people come in and talk. I feel like we got way more people. It also got complicated sometimes because people would when I say people, I mean Lil Bro would come in and just erase comments from people he didn't like. So I'm pretty quick. I got the stream up on my phone and on my PC, so if anybody comes in here and says anything crazy, I can get rid of them real quick. But I'm probably not going to get rid of anybody unless it's something fucking crazy. I'm trying to have an open forum here. I honestly should have learned from the first time when I had mods. I keep telling the story about that kid that he wanted me to play Fortnite, and I wasn't going to play Fortnite, and he got all mad that I wasn't playing Fortnite, so he blocked every single person in the stream. But how crazy? I wouldn't test it. A little more flashbacks, and maybe when you get big, add me or something. Yeah, of course. If I get big, that's a big thing. Bro, I got a headache. No, you definitely can't say the N-word. That's too crazy. That would get you the boot. Tobey Maguire is the one true Spider-Man to me. For me too, Greg, but that's because I stopped watching them at a point. I only play Madden 11 on 360. You're talking my language there, Greg. See, we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat here. I love the old Madden games. You know what I love? The old games I love? The 2K. The old 2K games are the best. I won't say it. I just asking. I get what yeah, Bills fan. That's pretty much if racism is really the only thing I'm going to be get out of here. If he needs his jug of water, it's behind me somewhere. I left it in the other room. I got to go get another one. 2K14 is the best 2K ever made. It's not even close. I still play it. I actually have it on my PC. Want to play me in college football 25 or 26 or Madden 26? Probably not going to play tonight. Maybe one of these days I could throw it on. I don't have 2K25, but like maybe college football one of these days. I'm not. I don't feel like firing up my PS5 right now. But yeah, so I got you. Yeah, definitely. Flay loves Big Cock is here. Huh. Damn, we're. I stopped buying after 2K17. Yeah, the last one I bought last year's 2K, like this past year, and it was just bad. It's gotten worse and worse over the years, and I don't understand. Yeah, Shane, I get that, man. Like, you're somebody who's watched all the movies, you're super into them, you wanted the story to be finished. They took it away from you. That sucks. I'm in bed right now, so if I don't talk, it's because I fell asleep. I'm probably not going to be here much longer. Have I watched The Wire? I have watched The Wire. I love The Wire. I think The Wire is such a good show. It's phenomenal. I'm starting season 3 now. Greg, I love The Wire. The Wire is so good. I won't say anything. Won't give it away. No spoilers. Um, the Wire, it is. You know, sorry, man. I hope the Jets get better. Thanks, Pablo. Flay, did you watch The Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2? Is The Amazing Spider-Man... I watched the original Spider-Man, like the Tobey Maguire ones. I've not watched the more recent ones. But The Wire for me is one of the best shows of all time. You know what's funny is like I watched The Wire so much after like I started watching other things. It's so funny when you watch TV shows and people pop up and you're like, oh, that's where this guy came from. That's what it was for me with like Idris Alba and like the guy who's the guy SGA, what's up, man? Who's the guy he's like the kicker in The Water Boy. He's in the early seasons. Like it's kind of crazy seeing some of these people. I wish the Jets were able to keep DJ Reed. Yeah, I mean, that would have been cool. I think the Jets defense is going to be okay, like fine to good. There's some good people. Michael B. Jordan, yes, of course, Michael B. Jordan. I don't know how I didn't even like that one. That should have been the first one that came to my mind. Kirsten Dunst, pass. I agree. I never thought Kirsten Dunst was attractive. I thought she was like a terrible Mary Jane. Awful. Thoughts on the Micah Parsons trade? I don't think I think people are killing Jerry Jones, and I don't think he should be getting killed for that. I think when you can't play ball with somebody, when somebody's not, when somebody wants more money than you're willing to give, like I think too many people would not be good at running teams, running organizations. Teams have to make budgets, especially when there's a salary cap. Jerry Jones had a hard budget, didn't want to go over it, so he got rid of him. Got something out of it. I don't think there's an issue with that whatsoever. Yeah, Derek. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about, SGA. That guy's in The Wire. I don't know how Michael B. Jordan wasn't the first person I thought of. You know what's funny? Michael B. Jordan, for me, the first place he popped up from a show I was watching was Friday Night Lights. But they just paid $100 million for Duran Bland. Jerry's an ass clown GM. I get it. Listen, I am not sitting here saying I think Jerry Jones is a great GM. But I also understand the idea of like a negotiation. And Jerry Jones wasn't going to get held hostage. There's a part of me that looks at that and I'm like, I can respect that. But a grade A pass rusher could probably be a little bit more flexible. But at the same time, Micah Parsons didn't even really make out that well in the whole deal. Micah Parsons is only making about $900,000 more than what the Cowboys even offered him in the first place because of state income taxes. Do you watch gay porn? I do not. Kenny Clark is a 4-time Pro Bowler and 2 first-round picks is nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think it's bad at all. What are your thoughts on the Jordan Addison? Come on, dude. I get that, Shane. No, like I said, I think at some point when you're running an organization, a team with a salary cap, I keep confusing Michael B. Jordan with the real Michael Jordan who played on the Chicago Bulls. How? How do you keep... The Cowboys are cooked. The Cowboys are going to be awful this year. The Cowboys are not going to be very good. Obviously, like, Micah Parsons is a huge loss. For the future, I don't think it's the wrong decision. I don't. It just happened. I don't think it did. But I'm getting a little tired here. I wasn't planning on streaming very long, but we'll try to hang on for a bit. Jalen Waddle and a second round pick for Jordan Addison. I could not imagine the Dolphins would be giving up more to get Jordan Addison. Movie Space Jam, they said North Carolina number 23 confused it for Michael B. Jordan. How? But Michael B. Jordan for me, the first place I ever saw him, because I didn't watch The Wire first, I was Friday Night Lights. Like, obviously this was after he became like a big time famous actor. I remember he popped up there and I'm like, holy shit, that's Michael B. Jordan. Like, it's just funny when you watch like old TV shows, like I said, and people pop up when they're extras and stuff and they're just getting big and you're like, holy shit, that guy was here. Like, you see that a lot in shows like Friends and like Seinfeld. Raiders beat the Pats week 1, you think? I don't think the Pats are that good. I feel like that game's going to be such a toss-up. I could see either one of them winning that. But, yeah, it's like, Flair, I may cry when I see it. I get it. The Cowboys now have money to sign more terrible players like Dak Prescott. For sure. Big fan of the Tonight Show. He's super funny. He's also in the movie. Yeah. Taxi's a great movie, by the way. All right, Flair, I'm head out. Bills fan. Did you not just ask me to do 15 more minutes and now you're already out of here? Jets or Steelers? I mean, I think this has all the makings of an Aaron Rodgers revenge game, Greg. I do think the Jets are going to give him some problems. I think the Jets have a fast defense. They do. Like, I don't think anything's going to be easy for the passing game. However, I do think the Steelers are going to be able to run the ball pretty well against the Jets. I think the Jets are going to have trouble stopping the run a little bit. They have good linebackers. I just think the Steelers' front is going to be a little too good. I think it's going to be a close game. I do think the Jets cover. I don't think the Jets win. Yeah, Taxi's a great movie. No, Bills fan, I'm fucking around, dude. Do whatever you got to do, man. Go to bed. I get it. I just thought it was funny. I don't know what that means, but I saw that earlier. When you get off, I'm probably going to head to bed. I'm going to head to bed any minute. I got up. I came home, went to bed, was tossing and turning. I'm like, let me go talk sports with people for a little bit. Or talk whatever. Gisele Bundchen's in that movie, yes. I just want more people to vent to. I get it. We're here. You do like 20 minutes more? Definitely not. Not a chance. I am going to head to bed right now, though, guys. But I appreciate you guys all stopping by. I'm going to do a longer stream tomorrow, probably during the day, leading up to some North Carolina TCU action. Harrison Phillips and Jawan Briggs were... Yes, absolutely. I will do some talk tomorrow before the TCU North Carolina game, shit like that. You know, we'll discuss whatever's going on. Probably have a video again tomorrow. I've been trying to do like daily videos and shit, just talking about stuff.